Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Adam Freeman here, coming to you from a chilly Atlanta, Georgia. Paul Brees is in Brentwood, Tennessee, and it has been a minute since we've done an episode. Paul, it's been about a month since we were able to get an episode on, and schedules have been crazy. Spring sports have been starting up for Hawaii Nation Sports Broadcasting, so I've done a couple games there. But no, your basketball season ended, correct, with yet another championship.
Back to back. Back to back, Jack. Did it again.
It's just piling up.
Yeah, I've run out of space. I've run out of space in my office for all the trophies. So I just now give them to like random kids in the hallway. Like, here, do you want this trophy? So
kids coming home with the 2019 district championship trophy from Coach Brees.
Yeah, it's a tough problem to have, but
hey,
here's the bigger issue, Adam. You would have to go to the historian of Drop Through Sports, which would be you probably. First episode, I mean, we were pretty close near it of when we started this whole. Do you remember the date?
I do. It was March the 26th was our first episode. So we're about a week away. So hopefully we can have some type of special 1 year anniversary show. I think that's going to come up. I would imagine that's going to be probably a recap of, probably going to be heavily Sweet 16, focus in on the March Madness Sweet 16. When we started this, we literally, we're doing it talking about, we're talking about Korean baseball and axe throwing. And just stuff that, because there was nothing going on. You couldn't do anything for like the first 2 months.
Right.
So now we got real sports to talk about. And as your background says, man, we got a tournament this year. At least one of our teams is in the tournament. Kentucky coming off its worst season in the history of the school. Not just worst season in the shot clock era, not just worst SEC, the worst season in the history of Kentucky basketball. So here's my take on that. My take is, because I have no emotion involved in my bracket picking, I think I'm going to be able to make better choices because I'm not emotionally invested at all. So I'm getting down to the analytics, and that gets us to our first topic in our bracketology. Looking at the matchups, because really, that's what it's all about. It's all about matchups. It always has been, but a lot of times you let emotion get involved. Your team, how many times have you picked Tennessee to go to the Elite Eight?
Well, my heart every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Mind, not so much.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. The last time, in 98, when Kentucky won it all, that was the only time that I didn't pick them to win it, and they won it. So from every point since 98, I've picked them to win it that they've been in. So
it's awesome.
I was not going to make that mistake again. So anyway, but there's a lot of, obviously the trendy pick is Gonzaga. They're like a 2-1 favorite. I think Baylor is 4-1. But if you're gonna win your pool, you gotta fade those picks, right, Brees?
Well, you don't fade Gonzaga, and you don't fade Baylor. But if you want to fade somebody, you head to the East and the Midwest. And that's where things may start to unravel for the perfect 1 seeds meeting in the Final Four.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you've got Illinois and Michigan down there. And Michigan's a trendy pick. They won the regular season, Big Ten. They didn't win the conference tournament. Illinois got good guards, but they could come up against a really tough matchup in the second round against Loyola Chicago, who's a really good team. They've got good guards as well. that could be a marquee second round matchup. And Michigan is without one of their starters. They're missing one of their starters. So I actually, in one of my pools, I have Michigan. But see, they're probably going to have to get through Alabama, and if Alabama's shooting the basketball and Herb Jones is doing his thing, they're going to be a tough out. I also have them in the Final Four in one of my brackets. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the Friday, Saturday. It's always for me, those are the two best days in sports. Would you disagree?
Well, it's Thursday, Friday this year, right?
Friday, Saturday.
Oh, I thought they were starting on. Are they not starting Thursday, Friday this year?
Well, Thursday is first four.
All right.
But normally that's a Tuesday.
I was under assumption that was on Wednesday, but I guess hey, I'm going with you, Adam.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Thursday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then you'll have your Sweet 16.
Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you're going to have who you think is going to be on Friday, day one. Who's going to be the biggest or the highest seed to lose first? I should say, just overall first. Or Saturday.
Yeah. So if we're talking about a team to watch out for, I'm going to go with, and I don't know if they play Friday or Saturday. I'm sorry. Keep your eye out on Eastern Washington. They take on Kansas.
So 14-3.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to try to, pull one out from in the air, Eastern Washington. If you're feeling frisky, Rick Pitino and Iona playing Alabama, winners of 6 straight. But my biggest team that I feel like is going to make it through further, keep your eye out on the Georgetown Hoyas.
Really?
Big East tournament champions, losing record, clicking on all cylinders. They play Colorado, and then they're going to either possibly get the winner of Florida State, UNC Greensboro. Who could possibly be UNC Greensboro? I think Florida State may be a little overrated. Georgetown, final Sweet 16 matchup against either Michigan or LSU.
Yeah, and that's an interesting second round matchup as well, provided LSU gets by St. Bonaventure. Yep. They've got good guard play as well. They won their league. They won their league tournament. And LSU, I mean, they could score. There's no doubt about that. But can they defend? That's the problem.
Right.
So, and that's always been their problem. They took Alabama to the wire. 2 seed in the SEC championship. So, that could be a 9-1 upset in the second round over Michigan, especially with them being down a guy.
And to be honest with you, Adam, if you want to keep up with, if you want another kind of wild horse, long shot, Georgia Tech, clicking on cylinders all at the right time.
All right, that gets us to our next topic. Great segue, Paul, because they had a positive test in their program.
Who was it? The student manager?
I don't know. It sounds to me like there's no names, but it sounds to me like it's a player. And they're still planning on playing, but it's a player, and it's going to be a blow to them. And that's why this topic was in our breakdown, our hot takes, because of Georgia Tech. So I get the feeling that they could be. At first, I thought it was going to be Virginia, but I think Virginia's going to play. They may not play well, and they could get bounced in the first round. But I think it might be Georgia Tech that maybe gets replaced with a Louisville, because Louisville's that you can guarantee that Louisville is sitting at home like this, hoping that Georgia Tech gets bounced. And you hate to think like that, but I guarantee you that's how Louisville's thinking right now. So we will find out. You know, it's I think tomorrow night is the night. You know, so and we got to talk about this too. I don't know if you watched the ACC tournament championship or not. I watched a little bit of it, but man, is Josh Pastner, is he as geeky as he comes across,
I compare him to
or is that an act?
no, I compare him to Miami Heat's coach,
Bolstra,
Bolster. Yeah,
dude,
he's the college version of him.
maybe, but if you compare those two, Spolstra's tons cooler than Pastner.
Is he?
I agree. Listen, I agree with your comparison that he's the Spolstra of college basketball. But when you compare those two guys, Spolstra's tons cooler than him. So where does that leave him? I mean, the guy, he looks like and why? He's the only college basketball coach in the country that wears the welder's face shield. You know, everybody, I mean, he looks ridiculous. And here's the thing, not only is he wearing one, now look, I have one of those because quite frankly, they're easier to teach in. Okay. But I don't wear it. I would rather be uncomfortable in a mask than wear that face shield. But here's the thing. If you're going to wear it, get a new one, man. Like the thing looks like, it looks like one of the kids, crunched it up and then gave it to him. I mean, it's got, dents all in it and the light shines on it funny. I mean, it looks like he got it out of the garbage. I mean, it looks ridiculous.
Whether you like it or not, this guy has done amazing work down at Georgia Tech with his basketball.
I mean, he really has, coming from Memphis.
I mean, I've talked to a few people in Memphis who are diehard Tiger fans, and they're just livid because Penny Hardaway has so much talent at his fingertips.
Disposal, yeah.
And they see Pastner over at Georgia Tech with 2-star guys, and they're going to the tournament.
Yeah, I think you're finding out that coaching AAU and coaching major Division I college basketball, there's a little bit of a difference there, and everybody at Memphis is like, okay, it was a novelty, and I think we got one recruit because of him, James Wiseman, but
like 5 games,
and he played 5 games before he was ruled out or opted out or whatever, and then of course COVID hit, and I don't know that they would have made the tournament anyway, but who knows? But
well, Vanderbilt's in the same situation with Jerry Stackhouse, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are they in too deep? What do? We obviously now look at Bryce Drew and what he's done at Grand Canyon. I mean, the guys. I don't know. Did they win the D2 championship, or they were in the Final Four or something?
Paul, they're in the NCAA tournament.
Grand Canyon is D1.
Yes. They're a 15 seed.
Who do they play?
I think they play Bama.
No, Iona plays Bama.
Oh, they play. I think they play Iowa. Check me on that. But
I'm looking. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah, the people at Vanderbilt are probably really ticked off now. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. I hope it doesn't happen. I mean, I'm going to root for Georgia Tech. Since Kentucky's not in it, I don't have a horse. I'm going to root for Morehead State. Funny how Morehead State is the only program from the state of Kentucky in the tournament.
Yeah.
Sad. It's really sad. But they're actually, here's the thing, and Kentucky beat them by 30 the first game of the year.
Right.
And I saw that game and I was like, man, this team's terrible. And they end up making the tournament. So,
yeah. And a team like Belmont, who wins 26 games, can't even get a sniff in the NIT.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But all right, so real quick, when you talk about the real first out, the COVID, the big C, here's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of we're going to find out there's going to be a lot of maybe positive tests, and nobody's going to give any information out publicly. And they're just going to start the games, and then we're going to find out as the game is starting who's not on the who's not on the court, who's not on the sidelines. They're good. NCAA is going to make sure this happens, and they're as much as possible, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, there's no once the hay's out of the barn at this point. Cat's out of the bag. You got the seed. You're not going to reseed. You're not going to restart I mean, yes, they got this in play. Next 4 in or whatever. That's going to be a hard sell to do that, especially when you get closer. So the travel is going to be an issue too. All right. So anyway, that gets us to our next talking point. Last Chance U, new season, Paul. Can't believe you didn't know about this.
Man, I'm behind.
You're behind, dude. I don't know how many, maybe 8 episodes in this thing. It's
okay.
really good. East Los Angeles Community College.
Okay.
The coach's name is Mosley. He actually played there, and then was a coach at Masters University, UC Bakersfield, and now has been here for 3-4 years. Up until the time he got there, I don't think they had won more than 12 games. He's won 20 games every year, taken to the playoffs every year, and he's gotten some guys. He's got some dudes. There's no doubt about it. They got baggage, just like the Last Chance U football crew is.
Right.
So I think you need to get into some Last Chance U on Netflix for sure, especially being a basketball guy.
Done.
Yeah, do it. I'm telling you, it's a definite. I mean, you could binge watch it probably. Each episode's kind of long. It's like almost an hour, but it's good stuff. And he does. The team is interesting. The characters, the players are interesting. They got a guy, former 5-star, went to Penn State, got injured, washed out, had some drug issues, and he's back there trying to get some playing time and trying to get to a D1 school. Got a guy that's an absolute beast. That was the LA City Player of the Year, senior year in high school. His grades were bad, and he couldn't get a D1 offer because of his grades. So he's trying. I mean, he's an absolute beast. But yeah, a lot of good storylines there. So I think it's going to be a good season. All right, this one may sting a little bit, Paul, for you. Now you picked up a D end from the Colts, but you lost a tight end to the Patriots.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah, you lost. You got Avril from the is it Avril or what's his name from the Colts, the D end, that I think is going to help y'all. But you lost Jonnu Smith to the Patriots, and the Patriots kind of weird because they're doing stuff that they normally don't do, and that's spend money. And I think they're realizing that we're getting surpassed by the Bills and the Dolphins here. We better maybe change the way we're doing things. First of all, they throw $13 million at Cam Newton, which I don't understand. And then they go out and they trade Marcus Cannon for draft picks. And then they go out and get Jonnu Smith, which I think is a great get because he's a super athletic, big, strong tight end. Any other news? I know they restructured Matt Ryan's contract here in Atlanta. They restructured Jake Matthews' contract here in Atlanta. Any other Titans news?
Well, obviously, John who go to the Patriots. Corey Davis signed with the Jets, and so
former number one. He's only been there 3 years?
Maybe 4. Maybe that's what happened. He was a free agent.
Yeah.
But also, this just happened, I believe, a few hours ago that the Titans released, and listen, they released Kenny Vaccaro last week. They released is it Malcolm Butler, cornerback?
Yeah.
And then they released Adoree Jackson today.
Really?
And they just released Dennis Kelly, who replaced Jack Conklin as the right tackle. He was a man. Listen, as a Titan fan, did a pretty good job coming in this year, as for what he had. So it's concerning that the Titans are currently listed as big losers in the free agent market so far. Anyway, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? Who we can pull out for?
And they may be targeting a specific person or persons and had to do this. But golly, that's your whole secondary.
Yeah, 3 out of 4. Now,
granted, they weren't that great, so maybe that's why.
Well, I felt like Vaccaro was he was an issue, but Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, I don't get
felt like he was okay. We did sign Marcus Johnson from the Colts. We also got the guy from the Steelers. I'm having trouble remembering this. I can't remember. Linebacker guy.
Oh, Dupree?
Was it?
Because Bud Dupree is a free agent.
Yes. Correct.
Dude, he'll be good. He'll be good for y'all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He really came into his own. Of course, he was a beast at Kentucky and then went to the Steelers and played really well opposite Watt. But
Bud Dupree. Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that'll be good. You'll have both. You'll have bookends defensively. So at least that'll take. Maybe that's what they're thinking. Hey, let's get a good D line, take some heat off the corners. We can get rid of these dudes, get some guys that can replace them for less money. And maybe that's the way they go. I mean, I don't know who Tannehill's going to throw it to. Humphreys.
Oh Lordy, no, I think he's gone too.
Tannehill's gone, or Humphreys?
No, I'm sorry. You said no. Humphreys is gone.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think he was ever in the part of the
plans. Yeah.
Part of the plan down the road. So anyway, I'm a little nervous, but
trimming the fat, man. Trimming the
big
fat.
Time.
Trimming the fat. All right. Let's talk. I know you don't want to even talk about this, but look, it's right around the corner. It's 2 weeks away. Spring training's underway. Opening day is coming up, and I'm sure I'll talk about this multiple times until it actually happens on July 13th. But Brees, I'm going to the All-Star game.
Oh wow!
I got tickets to the All-Star game, and me and Terry are going, and I'm gonna see if I can talk my brother-in-law out of his 2 tickets. But that may take some doing. Yeah, it's early. Here's what's weird about spring training. I didn't even realize this. Did you realize that they can it's written in the spring training like rules or where the game rules like during spring training, they can stop an inning at any point.
Correct.
Which I didn't realize. Is this new? Was that always how it's been? I don't know. If they want, hey, I want this guy to go 2 innings. But if he gets deep in the inning, he can't get it out. I'm like, okay, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the way of thinking. Just see what you want to see and then move on, I guess. But so the records really don't mean anything. You're just getting guys at bats and getting pitchers ready for spring. But I always wanted to go and see. Go down to spring training. Either in Arizona or Florida and just watch some games. I just thought that would always be something I'd like to do moving forward. All right, let's get to who's it going to be, Brees? March Madness. Who's going to cut down the nets in April and be the 2020-2021 national champion?
Listen, Gonzaga hadn't lost, so I'm not going out on a limb and not saying them, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Gonzaga until somebody proves me wrong. And I think they have the easiest path to get there. So,
Yeah, I don't think they're not going to get a game until the national semifinal, maybe. And I've got them playing Alabama. So
yeah,
Alabama's definitely got the athletes to hang with them, but can they, with Alabama, are they going to be shooting the ball well? If they shoot the ball well, they can score 90 points, and they're going to have to beat Gonzaga. That's just the way it is, as they score 88 or 90 a game. I think it's actually 92 a game. They scored 92 points a game. Now, again, they're in the West Coast Conference, but at the beginning of the year, they beat 5 top 10 teams in a row. So I don't care what conference you're in. Look at their out of conference, and they were beating the big boys, no problem. So it's a veteran team, and you got good young players. You got Mark Few, who's a great coach. He's been there. He got them to the title game. They fell a little bit short. He's been to Final Fours. I can't argue with you, Paul. I got to go Gonzaga, like you said, until somebody proves me wrong or until somebody upsets them. They could go 32-0, be the first team since the 76 Hoosiers to do it. I thought Kentucky was going to do it back in 15, but
yeah,
it fell short.
Secretly, I'd kind of cheered for Mark Few. He's he really probably deserves one if there's anybody out there that deserves one. And to do it at a place in the corner of no man's land,
and nobody sees these guys play.
No,
like unless you're staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning, you don't see them play. And I mean, they blow people away in their league. It's not even close. I think as far as drive-through sports goes, you heard it here first, folks. Gonzaga going to be cutting down the nets. Mark Few's going to be getting it done. Who are they beating in that final?
Who's Gonzaga going to beat?
Yeah. Or who are they going to have to beat in the final?
To get to the Final Four?
No.
Or in the final game?
To win it, yeah.
Oh, to win it? Yeah, I'm going to say I don't know. I'm going to say Baylor, I guess. I don't know. I really haven't had much time to dissect it. I mean, the obvious pick would be them, but I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Well, I think the dark horse, just because they're really good offensively, and as much as I don't like the guy, he's a pretty decent coach. I think Houston is an interesting team.
Right.
Now they would have to go through probably Baylor to get there. But that might be a 10, 15-1 shot to get to the final game. Now they still lose, but yeah. I mean, I think that would be, I would not be surprised if they got there. I mean, Baylor has lost, I think, 3 games all year, but they are super athletic. They got some veteran guys as well. And they have a really good coach. Scott Drew is a really good coach. So tournament time, you can have the dudes, but you've got to have a brain behind the dudes. And this is when you find out who those guys are. So, all right. So we got Gonzaga, unanimous from Drive Through Sports. Again, encourage you guys to listen to all of our previous episodes. We have over 120 episodes available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, and Spotify. Share those with your friends. Also, check us out on our YouTube channel, Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Follow us on Twitter at D3Sports. I had an interesting tweet the other day. I don't know if you saw it. Said if this was a non-COVID year, I said actually, even though the NCAA tournament is in a bubble, had Kentucky made it, they would have still sent us to Spokane, Washington. As far away as we get those Kentucky fans, we'll make those Kentucky fans go as far as they have to for a first round game. But anyway, all right. So it is that time, Paul, and I know you're waiting this out. All right. I went ahead and got my vaccination, my first one. Now I got the Moderna, so it's a 2-shot deal. So I got one last Wednesday, and I'll get another one on April 6th, and then I'm done. Now, unfortunately, I just signed up I didn't care which one it was. I just wanted to get the first appointment so I could get it. It happened to be Moderna. A lot of people I've talked about say, hey, man, that second Moderna shot will knock you on your butt for a day solid. So I got that to look forward to. But I'll be honest with you, the first shot, I took a half day. had the shot at 10 o'clock, got done. I was out of there by 10:30. I went back to school and taught the second half of the day. My first class, by the end of my first class before I went to lunch, man, I had a raging headache. And I just felt like foggy, like I wasn't myself. And when I got home, I sat down on the couch and I was asleep inside of 5 minutes.
Wow.
And Ella wanted me to help her with some homework, so I did. And after that, I mean, I went to bed. It was like 6 o'clock, and I woke up at like 9. I mean, I just had it zapped me for like probably 36 hours after.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know when you're going to get it, if you're going to whatever, but maybe look for the Pfizer or the Johnson and Johnson version.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting on, is the Johnson and Johnson to be readily available, right? If
The one shot deal, right?
one shot, M&M
Yeah.
style.
Yep. So, and here's the thing, speaking more on the vaccination topic, I talked to you about our schedule being a little bit different. Normally tomorrow, Tuesdays for us normally are what we call around here Friday Junior. Okay. Because we have asynchronous Wednesday, so we don't have class
Right.
this week, and next week are different. We have your schedule, your old schedule, I guess, where you had asynchronous Fridays for the next 2 weeks, because they have set up a mass vaccination site at a local fairground area, so teachers can go get vaccinated and not have to miss school or whatever. And they're doing that this Friday and Saturday, and next Friday and Saturday. So this week, Monday through Thursday, next week, Monday through Thursday. So this will be the first time in a long time that we've gone 4 days in a row. So just trying to pace myself here. Don't want to get too far out over my skis.
Yeah.
Trying to conserve my energy. So, but that's how ours. And then we'll go back to the normal week before we go on spring break, April 5th through 9th. But
yeah, you got to be careful when you, as teachers, hadn't worked a 5-day work week in a long time.
I mean, can you imagine if it ever goes back to that? We'll be like, we'll need prescription medication. We'll all be drinking energy drinks. We're drinking Monster coming in from the parking lot.
Those will be in the school's vending machines.
Yeah, they'll have to be in the teacher's lounge vending machine. That's nothing but Monster and Rocket Fuel and Rockstar and all that stuff. We'll have a generation of teachers with arrhythmias in their 30s. So, well, all right, guys, thanks for listening tonight. We appreciate you guys. We'll have another show shortly. Hope you can tune in and listen to this one. For Paul Brees in Brentwood, Tennessee, Adam Freeman here in Atlanta, Georgia, you're listening to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul.